Hi guys, and welcome back to another update video. It's been a very long time since I've actually made one of these, but I thought it's like a really good time to actually get back onto this kind of thing where I'm talking to you guys like on a regular basis, giving you guys updates of what I'm thinking and getting your thoughts as well. So I put up that vote video, that vote request kind of what do you guys want to see on the channel type video. So I want to thank all of you guys for actually coming back to me on that. It's really useful. It's one of those things. I've been doing YouTube for such a long time now that it's really difficult to tell what the current subscriber base is, the current active subscriber base is, and what they're wanting from the channel. So by you guys commenting all the time is really good. So keep on doing that, even if it's the same thing. Well, I say even if it's the same thing, don't copy and paste your comment across 100 videos. I've had a guy do that recently, which I said, please don't do this, and he kept on going. But do keep on commenting things. It really does help to you know, understand what's going on. You know, tell me what you guys like about certain videos, and tell me what you don't like about them as well. So that really does help. So I thought I'd touch base with you guys. For you guys that haven't seen these kind of videos before, like I said, it has been a very long time. I'm going to split it up into different sections. So with my channel, it's a little bit different. Obviously, it's mostly Minecraft type content, so this is going to be mostly Minecraft orientated, at least for the first bits. We're going to have the main kind of overview, overall kind of section, which is this section right now. I'm then going to go over into medieval and talk about medieval and what the plans are for the year. And also then I'm going to go on to modern and what the plans are for the year for all the modern stuff. Also with the sci-fi side of things, that's Star Wars for you guys. Most of you guys like the Star Wars stuff, so that'll fit into sci-fi. So we'll move on to that, and then we'll go on to Misc as well. So these are the kind of comments that were on those request videos, which are slightly different, that don't fit into the Minecraft kind of thing, and don't fit into any of those three kind of categories. So if you guys are only interested in, for example, the medieval stuff, you might want to watch this overview, then just skip to the medieval side of things. There'll be a link in the description to the exact time point, same with the just Star Wars stuff, if you just want to see what I'm talking about with that. So I've tried to make it quite easy for you guys on that side. So let's get on to a kind of like overview. So the first thing we kind of got is I had a look at all the comments. There was about 500 or so. I did have to do a cut-off. I've got the date in front of me and the time in front of me. I had to do an actual cut-off, which was on the 16th of Feb 2019 for that video, for grabbing all the comments off of it. And it was about 6:44 GMT. That's in the afternoon, so 1844 Greenwich Mean Time. There you go. So yeah, had to do a cut-off of the comments, otherwise it could go on forever and I could never make a video on it. So this is the kind of just a general kind of like look of what we actually had coming off of those, and I basically counted up the comments, had a look at them. If I could discern if it was like medieval or the fantasy kind of styles, sci-fi kind of like Star Wars, or modern type things that you guys were looking for. Some of them were just said like ships please, which for those ones I couldn't count either way, because I couldn't know if that's a sailing type ship, which I put into the medieval and fantasy kind of categories, or if it was modern. So some of those haven't been counted at all. But it looks pretty even on the modern and fantasy. So overall, medieval wins, which is kind of what I was expecting, because I've been doing a lot of conquest lately. So that has got a whole 40%, 40.46% of you guys were asking for and requesting like the medieval fantasies thing. So even if it's new styles, now of course it's not really medieval. It's not really medieval, but with Minecraft you can account everything as medieval, which isn't modern. It's kind of like a weird split, I think. So even like the Roman type stuff or Greek or something like that, I would count as medieval in terms of those categorizations, but it's really not. But it kind of works. So most of you guys wanted those, which is kind of what I expected. There's still quite a lot of you guys which are wanting modern, which is this is a lot more. This is why I wanted to do these kind of things. It's a hell of a lot more than I was actually expecting, like a lot more. So 37.86% of you guys wanted the modern stuff, and then a lot more guys wanted like sci-fi type based things, which is about 21%. Just as another note as well, when I was counting these up, if you guys were asking for both, you got a tick in both, so you got a vote on both, which I'm quite happy with, totally happy with. You could actually say all three. Actually, a couple of people did say kind of like things like, oh, I want a sailing ship, the I can't remember what it's got, Santisma Trinidad, and then they also wanted the Star Wars thing, and they also wanted to see some medieval jets or something, not medieval jets, some modern jets as well. So that was quite cool. So I've counted all of those. That person got 3 of them in each. But there we go. That's kind of like the overview. So I'm going to be using this as a kind of real base, at least for the next well, until we do the next vote video, which could be in 6 months. It could be in a year's time. We'll have a look and see where we're going with the channel and how it's working, and then I'll catch up with you guys again. I think probably 6 months. I think we'll do like one in the summer. I think we'll do a summer and a winter. I think that'll kind of work. But let me know if you think that's a good idea, or if you don't, you know, if you want just a yearly one. So that's what I'm going to use as a base, you know, do like mostly medieval and modern, and then do a bit of the kind of like sci-fi stuff, the kind of Star Wars stuff, because that's what the current viewer base is wanting. Of course, that can always change, so that's why I'm thinking 6 months is quite good. So if we now talk about what I'm going to be doing just overall, just the kind of like general thing. So let's just talk some general comments for what's going to happen overall on the channel in the next 6 months to a year. So I'm going to be doing more regular kind of updates and request videos to see what you guys want to see on the channel, and if there's anything that in particular, and if there's like a trend. So if somebody says the same like aircraft carrier, I really want those, and I get loads of those, and it was a bigger percentage, then I'll do something like that. That kind of gives me a good idea. So I'm going to do more of these kind of videos where I'm talking to you guys and wanting as much feedback. I still want feedback on general every video anyway, but like targeted ones to get your feedback and then me to act on it, because doing it channel wide there's a lot of comments. There's a hell of a lot of comments, too many. So another thing that I've been seeing on the vote and request type, you know, what do you guys want to see on the channel type video, was tutorials. There's a lot of tutorials, so because of that, we're going to be doing quite a lot of tutorials over the next year or so. Well, 6 months to a year, and then we'll see how it all is again. And one of the big kind of like changes that I'm going to be doing, well, not really a big change, I've started to do this anyway, is do them all in default or in the vanilla texture pack. Depends what you want to call it. It is default. I absolutely hate the default texture pack because it just looks the worst texture pack I think I've ever seen. Something like Hytale's default texture pack looks great, you know, but Minecraft doesn't. But that's fine. You guys seem to want a lot of them in default. A couple different reasons for that. So one of them is that the Bedrock edition, of course, you have to pay for texture packs, which kind of makes sense. There's not a load of them on there. The other thing is, of course, that because I'm doing a lot of the modded stuff at the minute, I'm building in the Conquest Reforged mod, that's quite difficult to translate to Bedrock, you know, so it's really difficult to translate to Bedrock. So that's going to help quite a lot. It's why when I was doing the Hemberg type tutorials, I was doing two. I was doing a Conquest Reforged one, I was doing a vanilla one. What I'm going to do instead is just do the vanilla one and just focus on that, so I'm not duplicating what I'm actually doing. Because there's not too much benefit out of it. I think all the Conquest guides can have a look at the default one if they want it, and be able to see what needs to be changed or what needs to be tweaked and add their own tweaks in. So I think that's absolutely fine anyway. I think that's going to work quite well. And also, of course, if I do come off like modded Conquest Reforged, I can then look back at those to actually then build them myself, which is a bit strange. So I can skim them all up and collect them all up and actually have them, which is quite good. So there's a couple of reasons on that as well. Also, the actual default kind of like game, they have finally started to add in some better building blocks, so we've got quite a few more roof blocks. So kind of like using those and being a little bit more creative is actually going to be helping me later on anyway when mods get updated. So it kind of works. It's all good. So the next kind of like biggest part on tutorials is that, well, not really with tutorials. I've started to do this with the airbase. What happened about 5 years ago? I was just doing tutorials, you know, just going, here's a list of helicopters, and I'll just work through them like systematically, and I never got to use them. And that's kind of where I fell out of love with them, really, because I was just like building stuff for the sake of building stuff and to make a video, like a tutorial video on it, but I wasn't really doing anything with them. And for me, like, Minecraft's really creative, or it's a really, really creative game, and it's one of those things that I think you should try and build everything overall. So what I started doing the airbase is the best example I've got of it at the minute. I started the airbase with the idea that I'm going to be redoing my planes and my helicopters and things like that, but I wanted a place for them. I wanted actually to fit them in different places. So with that, what I'm doing with the airbase is, you know, I might build the little bird, for example. I built the little bird, and also built that little trainer aircraft, and I also built a hangar in there. So I had all those like as components, and I just went, okay, well, the little hangar, I can tutorial that. There we go. Let's tutorial that in default. There you go. You guys can have that. Got the little trainer type aircraft. There you go. Done. And also the same with the little bird as well. I actually quite like the little bird in, weirdly, even though I hate default, I actually like it in the desert camo. I think it looks quite cool. So you know, that's what I'm planning on doing with a lot of things. And I think that's quite good, because that means if you are on something like Bedrock Edition, you can actually go, actually, I want to build my own airbase. I don't have the same map. Oh, I can't get that map for whatever reason. You know, it is a bit annoying, I think, to get, well, it is annoying to get Java maps onto Bedrock, you have to do quite a lot of playing around with MC Edit and all that kind of stuff. So basically, it is a bit of a pain in the butt. So at least with doing it this way, you guys will have the components, and you can go, okay, well, Dakr's done like a runway. Okay, I wanted to have a look at runway, and you can have a look at my tutorial, which I'm gonna do on a runway. Don't worry. You can have a look at a tutorial on that and go, okay, so that's how it works, right? Well, let's fit that into my world. I'm gonna take that and I'm gonna put that in there, or I'm gonna put components of it in there, and then I'm gonna go, okay, well, I do need some hangers, and those ones are too small. I don't like those ones. Don't use those ones from my series. There we go, big hanger. I like that one. And then you can start to build up your own base, which I think is going to be a lot better. So I'm going to be doing my tutorials in that kind of way. So what you guys are probably thinking is, damn, that's going to take you ages. But for stuff like the ships, once I've got the docks down, once I've got like a shipyardy type dock down, or like military kind of like ports going on, that's going to be quite quick, because I can just copy and paste these gigantic chunks in World Edit, and I can start building those ships in there, make them fit. One of the things I absolutely love is on Jag's channel is all the stuff that he's done around his world looks awesome, because he'll build a ship and he'll put it somewhere and it looks freaking amazing. It's like properly tied up. He's got a load of stuff around it as well, like you know, vehicles and everything, just to be able to actually load those up. I think it looks great. I think it absolutely looks brilliant. So that's what I'm going to be planning on doing, and that's going to be with the modern stuff, and it's also going to be with the medieval stuff, and also with Star Wars as well. So I'm going to try and do some stuff with that as well. So if we just talk about the video format and move on a little bit. So what I'm planning on doing with the video format, I'm going to be doing time lapses for big builds. I know I've been doing this for quite a while. So like Hamburg, for example, we're on like episode 7, I think, and it's taken like over a year of building to do. I think it's the best way to get real big builds and actually be able to see them grow is with time lapses. So I'm always going to use time lapses for my big builds. That'll be like the airbase type stuff, and also bigger cities as well on Yarrowin and the medieval stuff. Probably most of the Star Wars is also going to be that way as well. So if I'm building like what I want to do, for example, is finish my double scale Millennium Falcon and shove that in the Mos Eisley kind of thing. Just build like a little area around it. So I'll be doing a time lapse for that. So the Millennium Falcon will most likely already be finished by then, but the rest of it won't, so I'll be able to like just do a time lapse on that. That should be quite cool. I'm going to use streams for building like bigger builds. So again, like same with like Yarrow and stuff like Hamburg, I'll be going in, say if it's an interior, especially interiors, I'm going to be doing streams on those, but also building stuff as well. So for those time lapses, because I can do a stream and I can do a time lapse on top of it. There'll also be times where I'm just doing the time lapse by myself. Say if I can't, I'm just too tired from work, which is happens quite a lot, but if I'm too tired from work, I'll just be doing like catching up on some videos, and then actually just going through it and things like that. What I'm going to bring back on the channel is Let's Builds for the smaller builds. So that's one of the things that I got from the feedback from the medieval side, specifically from the medieval side, was that people want more variety. People want more variety. You know, when I started doing Wagrandale, I started doing the grove around it, started doing the fort as well, and I started doing like the necromancer's lair and a mine and all this kind of like stuff that fits around a world. And they're quite small. They're quite small in terms of their scope. But what I'm going to do for those is I am going to do Let's Builds on those rather than streams. And the reason being, it means that I can then put those in and just like layer them within other builds as well, and have some regular videos for those going on. So those are probably going to be 15 to 20 minutes long, I think, probably around the 15-minute mark, I think. I'm going to have a look at them, and you know, it depends on the build really. But those are going to be between 1 and 5 episodes, what I'm going to class as a smaller kind of like build. And the real idea behind those is, because I'm not streaming, I'm not going to be talking to you guys, I won't get distracted, and that's my plan. So if I don't get distracted, I should be able to continue on and just keep on building with those ones. So if I'm doing those, it'll be something like, you know, like I did the cave. I really like the cave that we did, which had a bear in it. That was awesome, actually. I really like those kind of like little things. So then if you guys are looking for inspiration, you can just watch those, put them on the background. You might be building something similar, and it'll take you X amount of time, and you can just go, actually, that's a really good idea, I'll nick that. Or you can go, well, I did this, and this looks better, and you guys can tweet at me. I'm quite happy with that. You know, just say, well, you did this in your cave video, but I've done this, and this looks really cool. I'd love to see that stuff. So do tweet stuff at me, like, I would say as often as possible, but then again, I won't be able to see them all. But do tweet stuff at me. I really like seeing stuff. Or use Discord, or using my Discord as well. Another thing that I really want to do, and I haven't chatted to these guys about it yet, but I do want to bring back the collaboration videos with like Zarius and with Jag, definitely. So those might be like reviews. I think reviews are going to be the easiest one to do. Zarius is now in the UK, so he's no longer in Australia, which means the time is a lot easier to chat with him. And of course, Jag is in America, so we've got to try and figure out the timing again, but I'm sure we can figure it out. So I want to bring over those videos again, do some like cross-channel stuff. There's also a load of other guys I want to work with as well, so I'll kind of like be reaching out to them at some point, and just trying to do some cross-channel stuff. You know, like I don't know. For some, I just feel like the community's. It's not that it's fractured. It just doesn't feel like it's all together at the minute. It doesn't really feel like it's all crossing over, and it used to actually. It used to quite a lot. It used to have like quite a lot of crossover with a lot of YouTubers. And it feels like a lot of them have now separated out a little bit. Some of them are coming, you know, going together and doing them, which is great. But it's one of the things that I've been missing, at least in the community. I don't know if you guys think the same. I haven't had any videos off of haven't had any comments of that. Actually, I've had one from Zarius to say that he wants to do some more videos, which is cool by me. So yeah, like you know, I want to see if that kind of works again. I want to get that going. And last thing is going to be some new games. So I'm going to be doing other stuff than Minecraft on the channel. And the reason is more my sanity, I think, because I've been doing Minecraft for a very long time. So it's up to you guys if you want to watch those. I think what I'm going to do is do like, don't know if you ever watched it with Sips. He does like Evening with Sips, and they're like an hour and something long videos where he's just trying out a game or something like that. I might do them in that style and just do like these mini things. What I don't want to do is like a Red Dead 2 playthrough, because my channel just doesn't really work for it. But what I do want to do is like smaller games where I can just get in, do some bits and bobs, and not really like really long story type things, but see, you know, shorter games is what I'm thinking, and kind of like go off of that and give those a go. So that'd be quite cool, I think. I think it'll give us a lot more ideas, and it'll actually feed back into the Minecraft stuff, because it always does. Like watching Red Dead 2, I still want to buy it, but watching Red Dead 2 it just makes me want to do Western. So I think it will all feed back into it, so we're going to do some of those. I think it'll be quite cool, especially like the modded Skyrim that we did on the streams ages ago. I kind of want to finish that little town that we started building on that, because we used mods and things like that to build, like, have a little town which we could actually be in charge of and all that kind of stuff. I love that kind of stuff, so we're going to probably add some of those on. There'll be like a weekly thing, probably, if I get time. If I don't get time, then it'll get dropped. It's one of those like extras which I'll put on. But that's the kind of like overall bit. So now what we're going to do, guys, is we're going to split into the 4 different sections. We're going to have medieval. We're then going to have the modern side of it. That's your warships and your city type things. Got the sci-fi, which is your Star Wars, Star Trek, all of that kind of stuff. And then we got the Misc as well. We got the other bits and bobs like World Painter, for example. That kind of stuff. So it's up to you guys if you want to keep watching the whole video, or if you want to click on the links below and choose the one that actually you like and you want to know about. If you're leaving me here, that's cool as well, so do just comment all the way through it. If you're going through it, just post a load of comments. I read all comments, so it'd be pretty cool anyway. So let's get onto the medieval side. Okay, so now we're on to the medieval section. So what I basically did with all the comments is if it had anything to do with medieval bits, and I could, some of them just said more medieval, so that would count in the main section, but might not count in this one, because this is me drilling down a little bit more, so getting a little bit more into what you guys are really asking for. So I've kind of like grouped them together. Some of them are really rough groupings, as you can probably see, like ship/pirate, because some people were saying pirate cliff base, which really does sound cool. But I've kind of like mixed those into the ships and pirate, because I can think of a pirate base being very ship-like, you know, having like bits of ships and stuff coming out of buildings and masts and all that kind of stuff. So it kind of like all works together. And some of them were just like more variety, more styles in different types of building styles. So for some of them were like, you know, Roman and Greek and Dwarven and Elven, industrial and steampunk, nature and groves and ruins, and that kind of like rich lore type bits, which don't really come into a category. They're just like stuff that exists in a world somewhere for a reason, you know, like or no reason. Shrines and things like that are around. So, not surprisingly, the biggest part of it is ships and pirate ships, which is something I haven't done for a very long time. So I've got to get on to the Queen Anne's Revenge and get that finished. And And another one was, so I can't remember how big each of these are. So that's yeah, so it was Ships and Pirate was the biggest slice, and then it's Towns and Cities after that. So Towns and Cities is kind of like stuff like Hamburg, but also other stuff as well. So that's just like general medieval towns and cities and things like Highguard as well. So anything that was Highguard just goes plonk straight into that section. Another thing that was really requested quite a lot in the comments was the Roman and Greek, which is good because I really liked it. I really loved that style. And that's kind of like from the Sanct Reporter stuff. I actually really got into that series. So bringing that back onto Yarrowin and rebuilding it in the Conquest Reforged mod will be really cool. And by rebuilding, I mean, you know, like reusing bits and components, but actually completely just basically doing it from scratch. But that'd be quite fun, I think. I really like doing that. Dwarven also came up quite a lot, which is really good because on my mobile, I have got Minecraft Pocket, and I've actually been playing around with some Dwarven styles because Dwarven's one of those things I've always wanted to do, but I've not really researched enough, and there's not a lot of houses. Like, usually what I do when I start with a style is I'll just build one house, and that'll kind of give me an idea for the style, and then maybe I'll build a blacksmith in that style. Both of those are very similar. Dwarven's a little bit more difficult because it's well, it's underground, but there's not as much material on it. There is some, but there's not loads, and it's quite a blocky design. So I've been playing around with a lot of designs anyway with that to see what we can do with it. I've tried not to look at a lot of the other guys that have done Dwarven in Minecraft. What I've tried to do is stay away from those. Just don't look at those. And instead, what I've done is I've had a look at all these like different bits of artwork and tried to come up with styles from that. So I've got quite a few different ones, and I'll probably show those at some point. But that's pretty cool. And then Elven is actually one that I was a bit shocked about. I wasn't actually surprised. I was surprised how much you guys wanted Elven. It's something that I've not really played around with yet, so that would be quite interesting to do. And then there's a load of other stuff as well that you guys wanted to see. So like steampunky type stuff that was like your airships and things like that. Castles always come up. Chinese and Japanese character styles as well. That's quite cool actually. And Viking, Nordic-y styles. A couple of people that said doing some stuff on Darwin Reforged, so I do need to go back there at some point. Or server stuff in general as well. Come up also, yeah, Skyrim, Witcher, and World of Warcraft. World of Warcraft, I played for a bit. I really like the styles in it, but I don't want to pay for it in order to look at it, to play it, because if I start playing it, that'll be it. I'll be gone forever. So that's the only problem. The other thing was survival as well, and that was a bit of a mix between Conquest Reforged survival, which I started doing a little bit, but survival for me, I don't know. I don't like it as much because I just can't get into it. I think that's the problem. I can't really get into it. But the vanilla survival actually might be interesting. I say. So have a look at that, or doing some other stuff with those as well. So yeah, there's a load of other different styles as well. Orc came up, mage. So I've got a load of different like all of these fit onto Yarrowin. There we go. Get there eventually. So anyway, let's go and talk about a couple of these points in a little bit more detail. Okay, so just talking about medieval in general and what the plan is over the next 6 months to a year. So Hamburg, I want to finish Hamburg by the end of the year. I really want to finish it, otherwise I'm going to go mad. It was too much to. I was biting off more than I could chew with it again, but I do want to finish it. I really do want to finish it. Definitely. I'm actually a lot closer than I thought I'd ever be. So, well, I say that I thought I'd ever be. I thought it'd be actually quite quick to do. It's definitely not. But once I got the main kind of like posher area around done, and then I can get to the noble district and then the castle. That's kind of it. I mean, there's a couple of fields around it and everything, but I can do those in quite a quick episode, I think. Or we can just go, I've done enough time lapses on fields, so I'm just going to go and do it. So, I mean, I definitely do want to finish it. But one of the main things that you guys were saying was more variety. So, definitely going to be putting more variety out there as well. Not just, you know, hammering it and not just doing stuff like Hamburg, then some Riverhold. I want to get back and do some more variety. So I want to go back to Silver Sage, finish that off. That would be really good. And start building around Vestir again. I really liked all those little bits that we're doing that actually built up the whole nation and the whole history and everything like that. And actually do that around the whole world, including playing around with a couple styles. So, you know, just going, okay, let's do some Byzantine. Let's just do like a couple episodes, 3 episodes or something. Just building like a small farmstead type place. So, you know, like a farmhouse and like a little barn and a bit of a stable in a style that I've not really played around with. So I want to do more of those around there. I think that's what you guys are wanting as well from, well, it's what the comments are all showing anyway, what I've been able to scoop out from every single one of them, is the more variety side of it, which is fair enough, and it's something that I've been thinking about for a long time as well, so it's quite good. But in particular, Roman and Greek kind of styles, that kind of stuff. I really liked the when I was doing Snack Reporter. I really liked it. I didn't think I'd like it that much, but I really liked it. Actually, just talking about more variety, yeah. So when I was doing Dakr, that was one of the things I had too much going on. So I want to kind of like keep it controlled, but I think the problem that happened with Dakr, I was building really like Hamburg, or trying to build Hamburg-sized settlements all at the same time. So I was like, Stillpan, gigantic hobbit place, and Snack Reporter, absolute massive island, and all Mystic Pines and everything like that. It was too big, so I think doing the variety, doing little bits, seeing what works, and playing around with different styles is going to be quite good. And then we can actually go, okay, when we've done Hamburg, I can do a vote for you guys and just say, which one of these should we build in these styles, and this is what it's going to look like. And I think that's going to be a lot better. I think it's going to be really, really cool. Dwarven as well is something that we can definitely get into. Like I said earlier, I've started messing around with a couple styles, so we can actually do that. I'm going to do a small Dwarven settlement of about 5 houses. I don't know what they're going to be doing. We're going to figure out how they eat as well. It's something that I've been looking at online, which is really weird. It's Googling, what do dwarves actually eat? And you go, it's pork, it's salted pork. And you go, yeah, well, where do they get that from? And they have to trade it. So with Yarrowin, the idea was that the dwarves were underground and kind of like disappeared. They weren't known about for quite some time until they kind of like got overpopulation and the Orc Horde came in. So with the lore, I've got to figure out something, but I'm thinking gigantic mushrooms. Yep. Something like that anyway, like big meaty mushroom type things that grow in the dark, that are kind of like magic makes them grow or something. We'll come up with something. And yeah, Elven as well was something that I wasn't really expecting you guys to say, which came up really quite strong as well, so we're going to have to do some Elven at some point. Have to do a bit of Elven and get onto that. That's going to be quite cool, I think. So another big thing is going to be the ships, so stuff like the Queen's Answer Revenge. So with Medieval, I count any sort of ships that are pre being the like really metal kind of ships that you get to see, you know, the World War One type stuff. But there's stuff before World War One that was very metallic. Pretty much anything really after the HMS Warrior, which was like an ironclad, but it looked like a wooden ship. You know, it wasn't a sail ship. Actually, anything that isn't a sail ship, steamships. Let's go steamship. So anything that isn't a steamship, really, to go back. So yeah, more ships is what you guys are looking for, especially with the pirate variety. So yeah, Queen's Answer Revenge is going to be the next biggest one. I have got a brig built as well. I need to like detail it. I did it too quick. I built the brig too quick. This was that's about 2 years ago. Built the brig really, really quick. I never got around to tutorialing it, but I don't like it. I don't like the look of it. So I need to go back and just redo bits of it and recolor it. It's actually sat in High Guard. Nobody really noticed it, which is really good. So yeah, it's sat in High Guard at the minute. Tied up as well. It's on one of the piers. But we're going to do some more ships as well. And of course tutorials. So what I'm going to be doing with those varieties especially, and with the Hamburg builds, I'm going to be doing a lot of tutorials on different styles. So we're going to be, you know, if we do some Byzantine or Roman, again, I'm going to be a tutorial on those in default, and then I'll put those up, and I'll add them all into a playlist. So that the idea being that you guys could go, okay, I want to play around with Roman style. I've not really done it before. You could then grab a playlist and go for a couple of builds, build your own little settlement. So with the Roman stuff, the Savannah biome works quite well on other things. Just get rid of the Savannah trees, you know, that's fine. But Savannah biome does, colour-wise, look quite good for that kind of Roman type building. So then you can actually go there and start building a little settlement, and you go, okay, I get the style now. Now I can start building my own stuff. That's how I got started. That's how I learned. So we'll start doing that as well. And that is it for the medieval section. If you guys continue watching, that'd be awesome. But if you have any comments, do place them below. Okay, so we're now on to the modern section, which is pretty much anything from your kind of like metal ships, that's not the right one, steamships and above. So it's all your World War One, World War Two, Cold War, everything that kind of fits into modern as a kind of like style, which includes your skyscrapers as well. So thank you guys for commenting. This is what I've kind of done. I've kind of looked at everything, everywhere I could do anyway, and scooped out the information we can. Really difficult with the aircraft actually, because some people were just saying aircraft, and I was just going, right, is that commercial aircraft in, you know, like a Boeing 747 type thing, or is that actually a military aircraft? Really, really difficult. So some of those didn't actually count in this, just because I couldn't tell which one it is, but that's alright. I need to be more specific in those request videos anyway. So, not surprising, the biggest in this section is warships. So we are gonna have a return to warship builds on the channel. I do need to work first on the airbase. So what I want to do is finish up the airbase, and we can then build and kind of like move along. So what I might do is when I expand the map for, basically I want to do a little town outside of the airbase where we have like a historic. I'm doing my hand. Historic airbase, historic airfield. There we go. Historic airfield where we'll have some World War II stuff. I want to actually have some of those around there. So I'm going to expand the map. What I'll also do at that same time is I'll expand it to the port. So I'll actually be doing a full-on shipyardy type port area where we can start doing some ships. We can start doing them. One of the things that did come up, somebody did say, can you redo the USS Arizona and the H-44? The H-44 I will never redo. That video... I almost quit YouTube because of that video, I'll be honest. It's too big. Simple as that. I think it actually still looks absolutely brilliant. It can do with extra detailing. Everything can do with extra detailing. With the tutorials anyway, I've got to dumb them down. Otherwise they'll be like 16 hours long, which nobody's going to watch. Or the people that do watch, there'll be so few that then it's just not worth it. As you guys probably know, with the Minecraft tutorials especially, the like monetary value is really, really low, really low. So that's the reason why all the big YouTubers like PewDiePie have really short videos, and it's because they make a ton of money off of those because they get more views, like people watching the whole way through because they're shorter. And that then looks really good because then in the stats they go, yeah, we had 1 million billion people watch it and they all watched it to the end, right? The advertising rate's going, whereas with tutorials a lot of people just drop off and therefore it just dies. So yeah, H-44 will never do any that size ever again. But I will see a return to warships. They will be, of course, dumbed down. But what we can do is we can actually do like streams and things like that on building it up and doing extra details on top of those. So we can do like a kind of like base ship, like the same kind of like qualities like the Arizona and things like that. And then we can actually kind of, you know, put on extra details and things like that onto there to really make it pop and really make it look more realistic, which will be really, really cool. So we will see a return to those, and I've got loads of like specific ships from you guys anyway, or just random ideas as well. So like stuff like where I can see, there's a warship, that's a warship. The only thing I would say when you're being when you are requesting a ship, do put the year it was actually launched on it. If you said USS Enterprise, that's like, okay, which one? Because there is so many. There's like sailing ships. There's yeah, there's aircraft carriers. There's obviously the Star Trek stuff as well. So the more specific you can be, the better. You can put in links to Wikipedia. I'll probably block it, but I'll just click on it. I review all of the spam links. I say spam links because most of them aren't actually spam anymore. I review all those daily. So if it doesn't pop up, it probably will for you, but if it doesn't pop up for other people, I'll be going through and actually checking those. And if it's just a Wikipedia link, I'll just let it go through. So that's pretty cool. So yeah. Got quite a lot of good ideas on that. The next thing is, of course, military aircraft, which ties in great with the military airbase that I'm doing at the minute. So we're going to be redoing the military aircraft. I've just done the Harrier. Last night I was building it. I was looking at something for the next video of the airbase. Built the Harrier, which I absolutely love the Harrier. I used to actually have a little model of a Harrier. So when I was a kid, I built it out of, I can't remember what it's called. But you know, like where you stick stuff together with glue and all that stuff and paint it and whatever. Like Airfix, there we go, Airfix. So I ended up doing those and it melted in the sun actually on my windowsill a little bit. Just had like a really big cut through it because of the light had been focused really bad. Anyway, random. So yeah, going to be doing a lot more of those kind of like military aircraft again and redoing them. Just basically redoing them from scratch. All of them have looked better so far. I've not built anything new, which I've gone, nah, the old one looks better. So, which is good. That's good. It means that I've actually got better as a builder. Yay. So another thing that came up quite a lot was the city stuff. So at some point we'll do a city. Some people said gigantic city. Can't do it. As one person, one man band, you cannot do a gigantic city. But what I can do is I can do components of it so that you guys, if you're working with friends, you can actually go about it. So stuff like skyscrapers, you can actually kind of like come up with the bottom piece of it, and then you can do the rest of it. You can just go up as far as you want to, which is really good, and then you get like a cap. So there's only really 3 sections in those, so I can do some tutorials on that kind of stuff and build them in as well. But I never expect to finish a city because it's just too big, way too big. But if you're doing it with other people, you can do it. Or if you have too much free time, you can do it if you don't have a job. So yeah, we will do some city type builds and things like that, and also vehicles as well. So vehicles is very general, but vehicles is going to be like your cars and all that kind of stuff. I want to do quite a few different sets. What I started doing with Royal Mail, actually, I started doing like Royal Mail vans and all that kind of stuff, and just giving them my own twist. A lot of them look just like pretty generic, but I want to do that kind of stuff. Do some like UK police cars and all that kind of stuff. Just go over it and just go crazy. Most vehicles anyway that I use, that I'll just grab will be Zarius's, because he's got such a variety on his channel that I just end up going over there, watching a video, grabbing it, skemming it, building a couple colours, skemming those, and then you just end up with like a palette that you can just drop everywhere, which is great. Which I love doing that. Commercial aircraft, of course, it was also requested quite a bit, which is your kind of like Boeings and Airbuses. I need to do some more Airbuses. I'll definitely get more onto that as I get onto a proper airport as well. So the plan is airbase, start building a port so I can start building ships in it. The port side of it I think is going to be quite easy, because I just need to build some nice big, what they called, things that you put ships next to. Yeah, one of them. Pier type things. They're not called piers at all. Docks, whatever. God knows, I can't remember the exact word. But yeah, we'll start doing that kind of stuff, and then we can put in some ships, shove those in. Which would be quite nice. We can start building those up again. I want to redo some of my old ships, like the Type 45 destroyer, the UK's destroyer, current destroyer class. I want to redo that one. I definitely wanted to redo that one. And probably some of the frigates as well, because we are going to have a new frigate coming out as well. And I do need to do some new aircraft carriers as well, like the Queen Elizabeth. Now that it's actually out, I've binned my old design. I went to Portsmouth literally this week, or last week even, because it's a Sunday. So last week I went over there and I got to see the Queen Elizabeth up pretty close actually. So we were going on like a harbour tour. We got to actually see that, which was really cool. And there's loads of bits that I've like snapped pictures of, and I'm going, it's either changed from the design or the design pictures that I saw were wrong. So yeah, or I got it wrong. So which is quite good. So I can actually at least rebuild that at some point. That'll probably be the biggest I'll ever go, because they're such a pain in the ass. Because they're obviously different on each side. It's just a nightmare. You can't just do half of a ship and then copy and paste it and flip it. Terrible. But yeah, we will start getting into that, as well as the yachts as well, guys. So I will get back onto those yachts. We have got quite a lot of styles, and I think I've got a load of them that I can actually tutorials soon. I need to have a look at all the yachts and go through all my tutorials and see which ones I've done already, because I don't think I've had a good marking system for doing that at all. So I need to come up with something. But that's kind of it for modern anyway. Lots of stuff that we're going to be doing on the channel, which is then going to build it in, but component based is going to be the kind of like way forwards, I think, you know, where we're doing like an airbase, and we're going to be doing hangars and planes and helicopters, and I'll just be giving you specific tutorials and bits, and you can choose and make your own and show me, which would be really good. But thanks for watching. If this is the end of what you're going to be watching, do comment. It does really help me out, especially with knowing where the direction is and what you think of everything that's going on as well, which is always good. So anyway, guys, comment, or watch the next section. It's up to you guys. Okay, and now on to the sci-fi section, or shall I really just rename this the Star Wars section? So looking at all of the things that came up into this kind of the smallest. This is obviously the smallest out of those 3 different categories that we kind of had at the beginning, ignoring Misc, that is. So Minecraft categories. Split up those, had a look at your comments, and seen what you guys are kind of like looking for. So what I've got is loads of you guys wanting the Star Wars, so we are going to do a return to Star Wars type stuff, especially the new trilogy, because I've done none. So we're going to have a return to those. We're probably going to be doing some at, I know that TIE Fighter at, you know, the double scale, 2:1 scale. I really like the look of it. I think it looks really cool, so we'll do an X-Wing, we'll do the Millennium Falcon. Some of those at the 2:1 scale. For those smaller type builds, I don't think I'll go bigger than 1/10 scale with the Star Destroyers, because they... Once you go past that, it just gets really too big, to the point where, you know, I kind of talked about this in the modern one, but there's a reason why the top YouTubers have really short videos, and it's because most people that click on those will actually watch it to the end, and therefore you get your advertising rates up and everything like that. Whereas tutorials that are really long, you kind of get like this, where people watch it and then they just dip off, and then you just, well, actually I'll just do it down here or there. But you don't get a lot of people watching them. You get a lot of views, but you don't get a lot of viewer time, which is what actually counts in terms of getting your channel up and things like that. So you end up like doing, you know, spending like 40 hours on a video, and actually you end up getting £5 after 4 years. You know, it's that kind of stuff. So that's why I will not go bigger than that. There's no reason why you guys can't. I will be doing some more tips and tricks on those kind of things, especially with Star Destroyers. I would advise buying a Dorito packet, because then you can get the shape. Of course, there are other brands available too, because I need to say that now. So yeah, you can get them just like triangles. Are quite difficult to actually do in Minecraft, but there are some tips and tricks, especially with World Painter. That'd be really bizarre if you could do it in World Painter. With World Edit, that you can actually do in order to get it, which is the or you know, line. It's called line that you can actually do with those in order to do them. That's what I do when I get the angles right and I start figuring that stuff out, and you can actually do it that way, which is a line which then can draw it for you, which is really good across a diagonal. Great. That's pretty much it with those, but I'll do some tips and tricks at some point. So yeah, with the Star Wars stuff, what I'm planning on doing, of course, is returning to tutorials. Some of them are slightly larger scale. Probably do the Resurgent. I hope there's enough information. When the episode 7 came out, there was not enough information or pictures on the Resurgent for me to even tutorial or even attempt to. There was snippets, but there was no. Basically, with the Imperial Star Destroyer, there was so many pictures of it and models and toys and everything. There was just tons of information. I could just go and grab like 1,000 pictures quite easily. With the Resurgent, there was about 10 or 20, and that was it. It was only later when they started doing everything else. So I will have a look at those. I know it's bigger than the Imperial, so we'll see it at 120, see what happens with that. People wanted Snoke Star Destroyer. I don't think I'll do it because it's too big, as well as the somebody said about the Eclipse Star Destroyer as well, which I think is ridiculous. But no, Super Star Destroyer as well. So Super Star Destroyer, which I can't remember, Executor. There you go, Executor class. We might have a look at those, and I might do it even smaller, like 1/40th scale. See how that does in terms of views and viewership, and then see if I'm mad enough to do it at 1/20th. I don't think I'll be able to do it at 110 just because it'll be too big. It'll be too big, it'll be too long, and will just flop and give me about £1 or about $1 or something, you know. It just will flop. What I'm also going to be doing with the Star Wars stuff, and yeah, this is specifically with the Star Wars stuff because it's such a big category, is building extra bits around it. So I really want to do the Lars homestead. That's Luke's home. I don't know why I want to, but I really want to do it. I had a look at it ages ago, and I couldn't find enough details on it, so I need to go like scurrying around the internet, finding loads of details on it, and like get a plan or something like that. But I want to do like those kind of builds, which kind of like build it up around, because actually I think like Luke's homestead would actually look quite good in just default Minecraft in the middle of a desert, because it's kind of quite hidden. So you just see like this little dome type thing, and everything else is underground, isn't it? So it'd be quite cool. So I want to do that kind of stuff. I want to do like a little, like do the Millennium Falcon in Mos Eisley, for example, and just build it a little bit around Mos Eisley, and probably shove the cantina in there, but actually have it like right inside it. So like, you know, not make Mos Eisley, but make like a little set of the bits of Mos Eisley that I really like. So have like Luke's you know, speeder outside or whatever it is. What is it called? I can't remember. Land speeder. I think it's called a land speeder, something like that. So shove that outside and have like the cantina bit, and have like the little ring area where Jabba was. We can probably find some blocks to make Jabba. That'd be really funny. And you know, have like that. Like do like these little scenes. Is what I want to do, as well as some buildings as well. What I've been wanting to do for ages is Felucia, and actually do it in World Painter. So we might see some stuff like that in World Painter, where I actually build some weird maps. So we'll do, because I think the coloured glass would quite work for the weird plants in there. It's really, really colourful. And then do some World Painter on that, and actually just do like a little map for that, and shove some like, you know, do like a Clone Wars battle. So build like a load of these, you know, all the ATTs at a bigger scale, because I think the 1-to-1 scale just looks too small. Build some of those and have those like fighting the CIS against the clones on that kind of stuff. Do like little maps. I think it would be really cool, and I'll just give you guys the blank map, and I'll give you the full map. So then what you guys can do is, if you've got the blank map, you can make your own battle. Be pretty cool. So I want to do that kind of stuff, build onto it. So if we get on to the next biggest one, which is Star Trek. So with the Star Trek, I'll start doing those again, doing them at the smaller scale, and just doing a load of them. So I'll do quite a few of them. What I won't do with the Star Trek is I won't be doing the specific builds around it, because Star Trek is pretty much It's just in space, you know. They've got the occasional space station and they do the occasional land stuff, but there's not really much else on there. So we'll do some like Star Trek stuff. You can't really make a set, but we will do, you know, like Klingon stuff, Romulan stuff, and whatever else. Don't think I'll do Deep Space Nine though. I mean, we could do, but it's quite big. So, you know, I'll do some of those things at different scales, and we'll just kind of like see how that goes. Another thing that's requested quite a bit was like Fallout. So I don't know if they meant like, and this is why I put it into sci-fi. I don't know why I put it into sci-fi. I guess it's because it's like futuristic. It's in the future. Some of them were just like vaults, which then could fit into the modern stuff, so we could do some like vaults, which would be pretty cool actually. And some of them were just, you know, like Fallout colour landscape. So I don't know what we want to do with those. I know we can have a look at doing something like that at some point. Battlestar Galactica, I love Battlestar. I'm actually wearing a Viper t-shirt. So I love BSG. I've wanted to build the Battlestar Galactica for a long time. It's just huge. It's absolutely monstrous. There is an excellent build that you can download on Planet Minecraft of the Battlestar Galactica. It is the reimagined one as well. It is incredible. It's what it actually put me off doing it, because I just went, yeah, I can't beat any of this, and this is at 1-to-1 scale. This is incredible. And we got a load of other stuff as well, like Lunar Mars base I've wanted to do for ages. I'm actually going to tie that into my main normal series. I've put it into the sci-fi thing because it is a bit sci-fi, it's a bit futuristic, but doing like a lunar type base, and again, world painter it, do use the red sand and shove just like a base up, and try and imagine like what it would look like. It would be quite cool, I think it would be. Also, there's a bit about Warhammer as well. Batman came up, and Avatar, and Alien and Prometheus, and some of the stuff from that. So really interesting actually to see what you guys were wanting. Actually, really, really good. But hopefully that helps. If you guys want to comment any extra ideas that you've got as well, or any specifics that you want as well, you know, really go crazy with the comments, because I read every single one of them. I've been trying to reply to every comment, but it's really difficult. So I don't always get there. Sometimes I'll get quite far with them, and I'll have to just, you know, ignore like 100. Well, not really going to ignore 100. I'll read that 100, but I won't be able to reply to all those 100 just to catch up again. So yeah, do comment. So let me know what you think, and we'll see what happens this year. Okay, the last section, thank God. We are on to the last bit, which is all the kind of like Misc stuff that didn't fit into the main Minecraft bits, or it just didn't fit into stuff in general. I don't know. It didn't fit into those free categories, those main categories that we actually had. So I'm going to do them in order. I'm just going to work my way down and just talk about them. So one of them was Fortnite Creative Mode. I have no problem with giving that a go, seeing what it's like. So I think Fortnite's free. I'm pretty sure Fortnite's free. I've not played it before, so why not? We'll do it as one of those kind of like, you know, Friday evening with Dakr type videos or something like that. I think I'll go with evening with Dakr or something like that. That'll work. So we'll give that a go. Why not? Let's see what happens. Operation Realism tours. So like I said in the overview, what I want to do, as well as the reviews of Zarius, actually, I'll put these two together. So both of those, yeah, definitely want to do some more reviews. I want to get back onto some servers, have a look at what other people are doing, because I find it incredibly like inspiring, some of the stuff that people were doing. It's crazy, and you just go, damn, wish I had thought about that. Mine looks crap now. But I think it's really useful. I think it's really good, especially for those people that are on Bedrock Edition on the consoles, where you can't jump onto a Java server and see what's going on. I think it's really useful, because then you can go, ah, cool, actually, yeah, I can do something similar to that with what I'm doing, and blah, blah, blah. You end up doing stuff. Another one that came up was RimWorld. Oh man, I've seen lots of RimWorld, so yeah, we can do one of those evening kind of things. Play a bit of RimWorld. I think I've already got it. Roblox. I don't know about Roblox. I'll be honest. I just don't know. I might have a look at it again. All right, I'll say that I will look at it again. Last time I looked at it, I was like, yeah, because I know that Roblox was supposed to be like this is going to destroy Minecraft, and then I looked at it and went, nah, it's not. I'm not going to do it. I think a lot of people did that. So, but I will give it a try. I will have a look at it again. And if it's not stupidly expensive, I might buy it. Maybe, I don't know, or if it's free. If it's free, well, definitely, you know. But if it's expensive, I just can't afford it. Right. So another thing that came up was like tips and tricks on building. Actually, I think that's a really good idea. Well, one of the examples was like carts and things like that. What I'm going to do with those is going to specifically do them for vanilla and default, I think, and just go over some like really vanilla and default designs that can be used from forever. I think it's a really good idea. So I don't see any problem with doing that at all on the channel. Even though there's one guy that's asked for it, I think it's a really good idea. I think it's really cool. So we can like see what happens with those. I think that will kind of work quite well with the Star Wars stuff, because the Star Wars like Star Destroyers were really difficult when I first started building them. Though I do use World Edit to actually do bits of them using the line tool, which then can draw like a really good triangle. Once you've figured out the dimensions for everything, it just ends up like getting it for you and go, okay, I can see it's five blocks, 5 blocks, 5 blocks. Usually it's 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, and you go, okay, that's fine. And you end up skewing it and changing it and everything, but it gives you a really good idea. And that's kind of like I would say that's a trick to be able to do something very quickly and without you having to try and figure out the angles, which is really good. Village transformations. This was something I've seen on a lot of other channels, and they seem to be really successful. I think if I'm going to do them though, they will obviously of course be in vanilla and default. And I think the only way to really do them is if I really go quite crazy with them. So for example, a desert village and actually going now, it's like basically start it again. And that's the only problem is I'd probably just like start from scratch with it and do like a proper Arabic kind of style with the whole, you know, beautiful kind of like I can't remember what they call them. Pirouettes? I don't think they're called pirouettes. What is the roof called? I don't know. You know, the kind of like distinctive look of roof. But those look amazing. They always have looked amazing. So I don't know. We'll see about doing that. I'm not really too sure. I'd have to look at what other people have done with them in order to understand it. But I would like to do it as a time lapse, which means I'm a bit stuck in what I'm using to do it. I don't know what I'm doing with my hands at the minute. War Thunder came out. Yeah, we can give that a go. Why not? World Machine. Now that was a couple. There's actually I've only got it noted down as once, but I'm sure I saw 2 about it. World Machine. Okay. I won't be doing any videos on World Machine, and there's 2 reasons. One is it costs too much. It just costs way too much. The other one is I haven't got a clue because I haven't got it. I have no idea how to use it, so I can't really tutorial it. Jamsy Boy did have some pretty good ones on it. But yeah, I don't know. Everything that I look at with World Machine looks really, really good, but it always looks really similar. I've not seen anybody do really good varied terrain. So I've not seen somebody do some really cool mountings that go into like valleys that then have some goes into a desert, which then has some mesas that goes on to. Do you know what I mean? It's always the same thing. It's always like really cool looking mountains, and then that's the entire map. That's it. So that's my problem with World Machine. Whereas World Painter, at least you're allowed to paint what you want, and you get to tweak and play with things, and you don't have to play with these weird box things that I've seen Jamsy Boy do a very long time ago. So I will most likely not do World Machine purely because of the cost. If there was a free edition, I probably would. Honestly, if there's a free edition and you know you got like 50 exports or something like that, I don't know. But no, the cost is just so high for that. I can't afford it. Well, I can afford it. It's just that I wouldn't get enough use out of it or enough revenue from YouTube in order to make that purchase worthwhile. It'd just be like, you know, gone down to the toilet. So yeah. Anyway, next thing, World Painter. I kind of talked a little bit about the Star Wars stuff. I do want to do more World Painter. World Painter is a bit of a difficult one to do though, because I've done so much stuff with World Painter and so many videos on it. I don't know what I've missed. So what I need from you guys that are wanting the World Painter stuff is to actually say, I want to see like can you do an updated video on X, because I know bits of the GUI has changed. I haven't noticed the changes in the GUI. I've just, for some reason, I was able to open it and just keep going like I had before. But I actually looked back at the old videos when somebody said, oh, it's not there anymore. I was like, what? And it took me a little while to figure out, yeah, actually there isn't. You know, I couldn't see it. I just ended up just continuing on. I don't know how, but I think that's just because I'm used to working with different software all the time. So yeah, let me know what you guys want to see in World Painter. But I will be doing like some lunar landscapes, some Mars landscapes, some other weird stuff with custom objects as well. So we'll kind of see what we come up with. But yeah, thanks guys. Thanks for all of the comments. If you've made it all the way through this, watching every section, I thank you very much, because that's going to really help me. But do smash that like button. Hopefully you guys will like these videos as well, and hopefully this is a worthwhile update for you guys. It's been a really long video for me, so thanks for watching. I'll see you guys on the next one.